Hey, what's up everyone and welcome to Daily Code Buffer. In this video, we are going to see how to implement Spring Security with MySQL or with any of the database. In the earlier videos, we have seen that how to implement Spring Security with JWT and how to implement Spring Security without database also. So in this video, we will go step further and we will fetch all the user information from the database and we will try to validate the user from the database itself. So let's get started. So yeah, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a Spring Boot application project. Let's open that in IntelliJ IDEA and add our Spring Security. Okay. So let me go to the browser. Let's open Spring Initializer. Let's give the group information as Daily Code Buffer. We'll give the demo as Spring Security Demo. Okay. And then here I'll give the package name as Spring Security Demo over here. My packaging is of jar type. My Java version is 11. Let's go ahead and add the dependencies. We will add the JPA dependency as we are going to interact with the database. I'll also add MySQL driver over here. Then I'll add the web dependency. And then at last the main dependency that we are going to implement is Spring Security. Now let's go ahead and generate the project and open in IntelliJ IDEA. So here you can see that my project is open over here. Now what we have to do is we have to connect this project to my MySQL database that I have in my local so that we can interact with the database and we can validate our user with the database. Okay, so here you can see that I have already opened my database MySQL over here. Okay, and here you can see that I have my dev schema over here. I have created a dev schema and inside this dev schema I have created one user table over here. This user table contains ID, username, password and role. And I have added couple of records over here. Shabir and Dev. Just ignore the password for now. I will tell you how I have stored this password over here. And I have two roles, user and admin. So what we'll be doing here is we'll create the authentication system so that it will authenticate which user it is and which role it has, and accordingly it will authenticate and it will try to log in. So first of all, what we need to do is we have to give the property to our Spring Boot application so that we can connect to this database. So let's add that properties over here. So inside my application, inside my application.properties file, I have to add those properties. So let me add those properties. Okay, you can see that these are the properties. Spring data source URL. This is my local database URL. And this is the dev database that we are going to connect, dev schema. Okay. And this is the username and password of my database. Now what I will do is I'll create a controller over here. In that controller we will have couple of APIs. Okay, so let me create a new controller over here. I'll say home controller. I'll annotate this controller with @REST controller and I'll create couple of APIs over here. I'll say public string home return, this is home page. Okay, and I'll say public string admin return, this is admin page. Okay, let me add the get mapping over here for both of this. I'll give /home for this and I'll give /admin for this. So these are the two APIs over here. So let's try to run this application for now. What's happening over here? Okay, we will see this. And here you can see that my application has started. Let me go to the browser and I'll hit localhost 8080/home. And here you can see that we got the signing page because we have implemented Spring Security. And now we don't know what is the username and password for this, and we have also not implemented this login page. So if you are working in a production grade application, you won't be needing this particular Spring Security login page. You will be implementing your own, right? Either in any of the UI framework or you will be implementing directly in the GSP also itself. So what we'll be doing is we'll be directly disabling this page over here, sign in page from the Spring Security, so we can directly authenticate. Now what to do with this? If you have not implemented and if you want to open your application, then the username would be user for Spring Security default user and password will be printed in your console. Okay, so you can see that this is your password. So if you log in with this, you'll be able to log in over here. You will see this is home page now, but you don't want this way. Okay, so let's go back to our application. Let's stop the server, and then what we'll do is we have to connect to our database. And in my database we have user table, and this user table contains ID, username, password and role. So let's create the entity for it, and let's create the repository for it so we can get the data out of it. So what we'll do, we'll create a user entity over here, and inside this we will say private long ID, private string username, private string password and private string role. Okay, now you can see that I have directly defined the role over here for the sake of simplicity. Okay, but if you are working with a production application, production grade application, then you might be having a different table for the role. Okay, because one user can have multiple roles, and based on that roles you will be authorizing the user itself. For the sake of simplicity, I have directly defined one role to one user over here. I have to define this is the entity, and I have to define that this is the primary key. Now let's create the get us address for this. Let's create the toString method as well. So we have just created the entity over here. Let's create the repository over here as well. Okay, so let me create the user repository, which will be the interface. Okay, and which will extends JPA repository, and this JPA repository is of type user and ID is of type long, and we will annotate with repository. Okay, my repository is also created. Now what we have to do is we have to leverage the Spring Security, so that Spring Security will be doing the authentication for us, and we have to configure it. So we have to provide the details to Spring Security so that Spring Security can understand, like from here we have to fetch the user details, and from here we have to authenticate it. Rest of the things will be handled by Spring Security itself. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'll do is I will create one configuration file. Okay, inside that we will implement the configuration. So let me create the Java class, and we will say web security configuration. Okay, and this class web security configuration will extend web security configurer adapter. And now as this is the configuration, we will annotate this class with configuration, and we have to enable the web security as well. So we will go ahead and enable web security. So this is done. Now we have to give the configuration details over here. So what we will do over here is we will create the authentication provider, and inside that authentication provider we will tell that you have to use this DAO authentication provider, which you will get the data from the database itself, and then you can proceed ahead with the authentication itself. So here let me just create the method over here that will say authentication provider over here, and this will be of bean. Okay, this will be the Spring Bean. Now inside this authentication provider I'll create the DAO authentication provider, because we'll be getting the data from the database. DAO stands for data access object, equals to new DAO authentication provider. So now for this DAO authentication provider we have to provide the user detail service. So user detail service is a default Spring Security class which will help us to do the authentication itself. So let me just create the object of it. I'll just say user details service, and I'll auto wire it. Now if you open this user detail service, this is a part of Spring Security framework. Okay, and here you can see that there is one method, load user by username. So we have to implement this. Okay, we have to implement this interface. So let's just give this interface over here, interface detail. So what I'll do, I'll just give provider dot set user detail service, and this user detail service is our user detail service. Now here we have provided the user detail service also, and after this we have to provide our password encoder. Now you can use any of the password encoder over here. I'll be using the Bcrypt password encoder. So we have to set the password encoder. So let me just give the password encoder set password encoder, and I'll say new bcrypt password encoder, and then I'll return the provider. So this is my method that will create the authentication provider. Now in this database I have already stored the password in bcrypt encoded format itself. Okay, so this password is 1234 and I have encoded in bcrypt. How I did is I went to this bcryptgenerator.com and there I have given the password 1234 and I have generated the hash for it. Okay, so this is the password that I have stored over here. So now what you can do is whenever you are registering a user, at the time only when you take the password before storing to the database, you can use this bcrypt password encoder, then encode the password whatever you are getting in a string and then you store it to the database. Okay, so with that you will be able to validate when you are using this bcrypt encoder. So while encoding and decoding you should be having the same password encoder, so make sure of that as well. Okay, so for the sake of simplicity I'm just showing you the login part, but registration part is also very simple. You just have to save the data and your password should be encoded and then you have to save. So this is how I have stored the password over here. Now let's go back to the IntelliJ IDEA, and here what I have to do is we just provided the user detail service interface over here and we told to the authentication provider that this is the user detail service that you're going to use. But here you can see that there is nothing that we have provided that what you have to do. So we have to implement this user detail service. So let's create the class and implement this user detail service so that this particular authentication provider can understand what to do with it. So let me just create the class over here. I'll create the Java class and I'll say custom user detail service. This will implement user details service, and we have to implement the methods as well. So there is only one method which is load user by username, and this service I will annotate with service annotation. Okay, and here you can see that this user detail service, this is the method load user by username, and then it is throwing the username not found exception. So we will leverage this exception itself. Okay, where to get the user, where to load the user by username, we already have the repository itself. Okay, so if you go to this repository, so this repository will get the data for that particular user, but we don't have any method that will load the data based on the username. So let's create that method over here. We'll create user. So here we'll give find by username method, and in this username, and in this we will pass string username. So this is the implementation that we have provided. This is the declaration of the method itself. Find by username, this will bring the data of the user, entire user object we will get based on the username that we are passing over here, and this username is the property in my user entity. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our custom user detail service, and here what we'll do, we will create the user object. Okay, user equals to, now here we'll be needing our repository. So let's create the object of the repository. We'll do private user repository, and we will auto wire it. So here we'll get the object of the user repository, and then we will call the method find by username, and then we will pass username over here. So here we will get the username itself. Now we will check if user equal to null, then we can directly throw new user not found exception itself. Okay, there we will say that user not found. So this is done. Now what we have to do is we have to pass the data back as a user details. So this user details is an interface itself. You can see that this is the interface. So what we have to do, we have to implement this user details as well. Okay, and inside that user details we can leverage or we can use this particular user that we are getting. So let's go ahead and create the custom user details which will implement this user detail interface. So I'll go ahead and create the Java class which will say custom user details and which will implement user details. Okay, and you can see that there are a lot of methods that we have to implement. Let me annotate with component over here, so it is in the scope of the Spring. Now you can see that there are a lot of methods over here: get password, get username, get authorities, is account non-expired, is account non-locked, is credential non-expired, is enabled. So all these details. So all these details you can get from the database itself, and you can set all those things over here. Currently we are only dealing with username, password and the roles will set in the authorities itself. So for the other thing, let's go ahead and change it to true, because when it's checking for the is enabled or is account non-logged or is credentials not expired, and if it returns false, then we will be not able to log in. So for now, let's change it to true, and we'll concentrate on the user password and this particular authorities. But how we will get the user? So what we can do is, when we are calling the user details service, when we are passing this, we will pass the user object in the constructor itself. So let me create the user object over here, and that user should be of daily code buffer dot spring security demo, not of the Spring framework itself. Okay, user, and then we will create the constructor. So let's create the constructor with the user. Let's call the super also. So this is the constructor that we have created. Now what we can do is, we can get the password and username. What you can do, user dot get password. Sorry, it's username, right? So username, and for the password we can do user dot get password over here. And for the authorities, what we can do is, this authorities is a collection of granted authorities. Okay, so we have to create the granted authorities object, and which is of type collection. So what we'll do, collections dot singleton of new. Let's create the simple granted authority, and inside this I'll pass user dot get roles. As I'm only working with one role for now, so that's why I have given only one role over here in my collection. If you're working with multiple roles, then you can go ahead and implement the logic for that. Okay, so here what we are getting is, we are getting the authorities, password and username from the database itself, from this object, and we are setting to the user details. Okay, we are implementing the user details. Now as user details is done, we have implemented the user details in the custom user details class. Let's go back to the custom user details service, and here what we will do is, we will return new custom user details, and inside this we'll pass the user. Now this makes sense, right? Because in this user repository we are passing the username over here, and with that username we are getting the user object. Okay, and if user is null, we are throwing the exception, and if we got the user, we have to convert that user to a user details. So we implemented this user details interface into custom user details class, and this custom user details class needs the user object to set all the values. So we using the constructor. Now it will set all the details to user details, and we will get the user details object itself. Now what we have done till now is, we have told Spring Security to get the user and authenticate the user from the database that we have. Okay, only that part we have done. Now we have to disable the login page from the Spring Security also. So let's go ahead and configure that as well. So we have created the Spring Security configuration, that is a web security configuration. Inside this we have to override one method. So let's go ahead and override that method, and that method is, let's go to override methods, and we will override the configure method, which is taking HTTP security. Let's remove this. Okay, and we will override this method. We'll say http.authorize requests, we'll say dot and matchers, and we'll say slash. So this and matchers slash is my home page, not the home page that we have created. Okay, inside this home controller, not this home one, but by default when you open your application with localhost 8080, the home page that has been opened, I'm talking about that. Okay, so let's get back to this particular class, and for this we will permit all. Okay, so when you open this, you should not be asked any passwords for it. Dot and matchers again, and when you are opening the home API, now this particular home should be only accessed who has role user. Okay, so suppose if you go to the database, you can see that I have two roles, user and admin. Okay, so and I have created two APIs, one is home and one is admin. So admin API can only access by the user who have admin role, and home API should be only accessed by the user who have user as a role. So what I'll do, home API should be only accessed who has authority, which is user. Dot again I'll do ant matchers, and this ant matcher is of admin, and this admin can be accessed by, you can see that there are multiple has authority, has any authority, all those things. Okay, so has authority means you will be providing only one authority, has any authority means you will provide multiple authorities, and any of the authorities is present, then you will be able to, the user will be able to access it. So let's just go ahead and give has authority over here for now, and this is admin authority, and we'll give dot any request dot authenticated. Any request that comes to /home/admin should be authenticated, and we'll take care of the authorities as well, that home should be accessed by user and admin should be accessed by only admin. Dot and dot we'll say HTTP basic. So what we did over here is we took the control from the Spring Security itself for authentication, and we are giving this particular authentication itself, that any request going to /home page, which is our home, should be permitted. Okay, everyone should be permitted to go to the home page. And if you are going to /home API, only user with the user role should be accessed, should be allowed. So if you go to the admin API, only user with the admin role should be allowed to access that particular API. So this is the configuration that we have provided over here. So if you see that everything is ready, we have the user entity over here, we created the user repository for that, and then we created the configuration. Inside that configuration, we have created the authentication provider. This authentication provider is using DAO authentication provider, and for this DAO authentication provider, we use the user details service, which is a part of Spring Security itself, which is an interface. So we have to implement that interface. So we went ahead and implemented interface as a custom user details service. Inside this, there is a method that is load user by username, which we have to implement, and for that we use the user repository that we have created, and we created the method find by username. Inside that we pass the username that we are getting, and we populated the user object. This user object we have to convert to our user details, which is a return type for this method. So we went ahead and implement this user details interface as well. So this is the interface for that, and for this particular user details interface, we have to have the user object that we got from the user repository. So we took that object as a constructor level. Okay, we got that object from the constructor, and we set all those methods over here. Okay, we provided all those information to all those methods: get authorities, get password, get username. And for now, all these methods we have kept as true itself, but this you can implement according to your requirements, according to your project needs. And then we override this configure method, which we gave over here, which we gave all these details. So let's run this application, and let's go to Insomnia to test this APIs. Okay, so let's run this, and you can see that it's connected to the database, and there is some error which says custom user details requires a bean of type Spring Security demo, which is a custom user details, right? Custom user details. Let's remove this component over here, and let's check it again. Okay, so that was a mistake. Okay, so my application started. Now let's go to Insomnia. Let's create the new request, and here I'll pass http :localhost 8080, and if I send, so here you can see that this is not found. So we have not implemented this particular thing. Okay, when you open this to here also in browser localhost 8080, you will get this error page. Okay, so for this we have not implemented, and for this particular thing we have not added the Spring Security also. So let's go ahead and call the home URL. Okay, and we'll hit send, and here you can see that you are getting the 401, which is you are unauthorized to access this particular home page because we have not provided the user details, username and password. So let's go ahead and pass those information. So in the authentication we'll go as a basic authentication over here, and here we will pass the password. So for home, you can see that we have to provide user. Okay, user role. So we have to provide this username, but let's go ahead and go with a negative scenario. We'll provide dev and admin. So we'll provide dev username and password is 1234. Okay, and let's hit send, and you can see that 403 forbidden. We are not able to access it. But if we change to Shabir and password is same, when we hit on send, you can see that we are getting 200 response, and we are getting, this is the home page. Okay, so it is checking everything, that your username and password should be correct and your role also should be correct. So it is authenticating and authorizing at the same time. Now let's go ahead and check for the admin also. Okay, so if you go to the admin and if we send, you can see that we are not able to access because Shabir cannot access admin. Admin can only be accessed by dev. So let's go ahead and change to dev, and then if I hit send, You can see that we are able to access the admin page over here. So this way you can implement Spring Security with authentication and authorization from the database as well. So these are the steps that you have to follow. And after this, you can go ahead and extend this also. You can implement the JWT also. Okay, with Spring Security. I also made the video for that. I'll add in the description below. If you want, you can also go ahead with the OAuth 2. So you can connect to any of the social media as well, like Google, Facebook, GitHub and anything. Okay, so for that also Spring Security provides the configuration, so you can configure that and you can do the authentication and authorization from that. I have created the video for Facebook authentication with Spring Security. I'll link that into description below, so you can check that out as well. So there are a lot of possibilities that you can do. I've created multiple videos for it, so you can check all those videos and you can combine all those things and you can create and you can use in your application how it is needed. So suppose if you are working with the microservices and all, then the best solution is to go with the token based authentication. So that means JWT. So you can leverage this tutorial and you can leverage the JWT tutorial as well, and you can implement in your application itself. So for this particular tutorial, I'll add the link in the description below. I'll upload in GitHub, so you can check this out as well. And if you want me to create any other tutorials regarding Spring Security, then let me know in the comment section below as well. I know I have got a lot of requests from you guys to create the Spring Security in microservices, but trust me, it is very simple. You just have to go through this tutorial and you just go through the JWT tutorial. So with the combination of both of this tutorial, you will be able to implement in your microservice as well, because the concept is very simple. You just have to use the JWT, token based authentication, to interact with your different microservices for authentication and authorization. So you can implement as well, and if you face any difficulties, then let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to help you out as well. So that's been it in this video. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos. Till then, happy coding. Bye bye.